So I'm here today to tell you a little bit about seaweed in the world of food production. Jennifer is my co-founder over there. Together we started Zeewaar, the first sustainable seaweed farm in the Netherlands in 2013. Now at the time, and still today, we had about 7 billion people to feed on the planet, and we realized, and we saw everywhere of course, that this was taking a serious toll on the planet. While this continued to happen, the United Nations said, well, and we're going to grow in population to 9 billion, more than 9, by the year 2050. Clearly, something has to change before the time comes. So food producers as well as consumers need to change their behavior. And this is how we got involved with Zeewaar, with sustainable seaweed cultivation. It's a brand new industry, you see. Not seaweed cultivation, but the sustainable form of it. It doesn't happen yet, not much. So in Europe, this was an opportunity, we felt. And we jumped in, head first. And Jennifer is an attorney from New York. And I was a marketeer at Heineken International. So we knew a little bit about the international world of food production, but we knew very little about the food production in Europe. It amazed us to find out that a staggering 99.7% of all seaweed in Europe is taken from the waters. It's taken from European natural parks, actually, and it goes into the food industry. It's the equivalent of about 100 million kilos per year, every year, that doesn't get replanted. Now think about that. Just think about how much that is. There's no food system in the world, of course, that can survive like that. So why is this going on? Because you don't know about it. You don't see it. You see, when you see these pictures with these beautiful seas, and you look at the sunset, you go to the beach, or you go on a beach holiday, you don't actually see the damage on the water. But it's happening, and you don't know about it. And seaweed has these amazing functions, and this is why we should care. You see what it does? We call about the 5 zeros and the 5 pluses. The 5 zeros is that it takes 0 fresh water to cultivate it. It takes 0 manure to cultivate it, 0 pesticide, 0 land use, and 0 waste. We actually have 0 waste at Zeewaar. So it's an amazing thing to cultivate. Why don't we do that more often? And then the natural stocks, while we can't cultivate our seaweed, the natural seaweed stocks can do what they're used to do. And that's the 5 pluses. What they do is they breathe out oxygen. Did you know that? A lot of our oxygen actually comes from seaweed. That's happening all over the world in the sea. It's growing and it's giving you oxygen. It also stores and locks in CO2. And thirdly, it filters the water. And it's also a nursery for fish on the water. And lastly, it protects our coastal zones from erosion. This is pretty amazing stuff, right? So if you think about it, why do we actually allow in Europe that so much of it gets taken out of the water? And again, it's because we don't know about it. Now people talk about the food trends of 2016, and it's seaweed, one of the big food trends. We actually disagree. You would be surprised, but we disagree because seaweed is here to stay. But the production method right now in Europe cannot stay. We have to change that. So at Zeewaar, what we set out to do, we're not just a little seaweed farm. I mean, it looks very pretty. You can see how small it still is, right here. It's about 1 kilometer right now in space. But we can grow that out times 15 in this little harbor. And then we can take more over in the Oosterschelde, which is a natural seaweed park, a natural park in the south of Holland. And there are natural parks all over Europe, natural parks in the sea where this can happen as well. So our vision is this. What if, together with some other partners, which we're already working on, we set up in these coastal communities all over the coastal zones of Europe, sustainable seaweed cultivation farms. Sustainable farms. So the fishing community that is struggling because of the quotas, because of what happened to the fish industry, have an alternative. And we don't replicate what went wrong in that industry actually, and we create a beautiful future, a new industry, a new economy for these coastal zones. We all work together and get this off the ground, because that's what it's about. Right now, Jennifer and I are running this company, and we still compete with these wild harvesting companies. And that's not good. So we need you to actually break this secret. Tell this story with us. 99.7% of all seaweed in Europe taken from the open seas. More than 100 million kilos every year, and it's not replanted. It's got to stop, and then we can all enjoy, sustainably cultivated, high quality seaweed. Thank you very much.